in my early 20s, I was signed to a big modeling agency in New York, and I was on some billboards, a bunch of magazines, did a bunch of ad campaigns for different brands. And there were these two girls at my agency who I were friends with. They looked very similar. They weren't sisters, but they looked like it because they resembled each other so much. And they were really attractive girls in the face, but their bodies, they kind of looked like young men. Like super flat chest and didn't really have no butt or anything. They looked like young men with pretty girl faces. And they would get modeling jobs, but they would get the kind of lower paying modeling jobs. A lot of times it's called commercial work. They might be in the catalog for Macy's, stuff like that. And, smiling. And that stuff pays. You can make a living doing commercial modeling. Because I used to do a lot of that too. I was in different East Bay catalogs and, Kohl's or whatever. You can make a living doing that, but that's not where the big money is. The big money in modeling, especially for women, is if you can get like big campaigns. You get the Dolce and Gabbana campaign, you get the Guess campaign, stuff like that. And these girls weren't looked at like that because they looked like young men, their body type. And one of them was talking to me, especially after I did a big campaign for this urban brand called Academics. They paid me a bunch of money. I was on buses, I was on billboards. And she was like, man, I want to get a campaign, but I think I need to get a boob job in order to get that. You think I should get it? She was asking me for advice. And I told her, I was like, bitch, yeah. Yeah. What's it gonna run you, like $5,000? It was probably less, man. Man, go get that shit. And the other one was like, no, I'm just gonna be confident and believe me, I'm confident I can get it. All right, cool. The first girl, she got the boob job. She didn't get like crazy, huge Cindy Sweeney boobs, right? But she looked like a woman now. Like she didn't look like a young man anymore. She ain't look like a boy. She looked like a woman, right? She had more like sex appeal. And boom, she started getting like the big campaigns. She started getting big campaigns. She was in like the big magazines. She was in like Vogue, and she started doing more high fashion stuff. And she got the good ones too, right? They looked natural and they weren't huge, right? She went from like an A cup is generous to like a B or C cup, whatever, nothing crazy. Because she still wanted to do fashion modeling. She wasn't trying to do OnlyFans, didn't exist, but that wasn't the kind of time she was on. And she accomplished that. Then she ended up marrying this dude who was like a big investment banker in New York. Dude worth like 9 figures. They got houses all over. They fly private. They got a bunch of kids now, go to private schools. Like she's super rich now as a result. She don't even model no more. Her friend who said she was just going to be confident, she seems to be doing all right, man. She married some guy. He worked at the factory or something, and they got kids. They probably happy. They live in 2 different lifestyles. And here's the point. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. You don't want it bad enough. And when I say cheating, I'm going to break down how you should be cheating to get every advantage you can in life so you can win. But when I say cheating, for me, my criteria is there can be no victims and I can't lie. Because lying's a slippery slope. Right? You start lying and cheating just a little bit, next thing you know, you doing big shit, right? Because you start moving in that direction, it becomes easier to lie about something bigger or cheat, do a bigger scam, right? They build upon themselves because you take one step, I might as well take the next step. For example, Bernie Madoff, he had one of the biggest Ponzi schemes ever. He was already a billionaire before he started scamming. right? He didn't one day just start to say, you know what, I'm gonna start $1 billion Ponzi scheme. Nah, he had some legit shit. Then he said, you know, I do a little cheating here, a little cheating there. Then he said, you know, I'm gonna do a lot of cheating. All right, I'm gonna do a lot of scamming, right? It became easier to do more. Next thing you know, shit gets out of control. He runs the biggest Ponzi scheme ever, right? Starts with the first step is the worst step. So we're gonna cheat. And when I say cheat, I just mean get in every advantage you can, okay? And some of them may be extreme. I'm gonna break them down to you. But we're gonna cheat, but there can be no victims and you can't lie. For example, when I went on TRT and started shooting testosterone, I documented the whole process. I told everybody, because I run, you know, my YouTube was primarily about fitness stuff at the time, and I felt a responsibility to disclose that. I know some people thought I was on that shit way before. That's because you pussy. You ain't never met somebody who, you never met somebody who worked out for like 20 years straight and tracked and kept a scale with them to track everything he ate every day for 15 years. Anybody who does that is gonna look like they're on roids. I promise you. Right? You just a bitch. You ain't never met a real motherfucker who can do something like that consistently, right? So I understand it was unusual. Because sometimes I would look at pictures of myself before I went on TRT. I was like, I see why people say I'm on steroids. I'm that nigga. Anyway, it was important for me to disclose that. Document, I show my blood work before and after. I have interviews on here with my doctors. You know, it's important for me to disclose it, but I still wanted the advantage of optimizing my testosterone. Before I get into the cheats, let me just give you some background, just in case you don't know. My testosterone was in the normal levels, but it was at the low end of the normal range, like in the like 400s, which is normal for a dude who was like 30, almost 39 at the time. That's normal. Every man's testosterone starts to drop after age 30. Now my shit is like 900, 1,000. We keep it in that range, which is still in the normal levels. I wanted the advantages of that, because here's what I noticed. Every guy I would meet who was killing it in their 40s, like killing it in business. I'm not talking about physical stuff. I'm not talking about being ripped. I'm just talking about going hard as a G in their 50s or 40s and 50s. They were all on TRT. When I talked to them behind closed doors, they might not have been as public about it as me, because there's a stigma around it, or at least there was at the time, 5 years ago. And they were all killing. I was like, fuck, well, I need to take advantage of this too, right? And next thing you know, I have more energy, more drive, more vigor. I feel like I'm in my 20s again, and I start making way more money, right? So let's get into it. How do you need to cheat? And when I say cheat, I really mean just taking every advantage you can. You can't buy some titties like Shorty did, right? But there are things you can do, and we're gonna break them down. The first, and I'm gonna break them down in 3 categories: physiology, right? Cognitive performance, and then technology. These are the areas where we can give ourselves unfair advantages, okay? So first of all, physiology. If I was a fat motherfucker and I was too much of a bitch to track my macros and calories, I would for sure go on Ozempic. Fuck that shit. Like, fuck that. Of course I would. Of course I would. If I was too fucking lazy to track my calories and I couldn't control what I put in my mouth for whatever reason, I would go on Ozempic. 100%. You know, if I wouldn't be a trainer right now, so I wouldn't have to disclose that to everyone, you know, but I would for sure do it. If you a fat, you're probably not watching this if you're super fat and you can't control yourself. You probably need to get the discipline. But yeah, man, fuck that shit. You know, the average person just ain't gonna have the discipline. We solved getting in shape decades ago. Everyone knows, burn more calories than you consume, move more, eat less. The formula has been established for centuries. But at the same time, the obesity rate keeps going up. The average American is 17 pounds overweight. Childhood obesity is going up. Like, we solved the problem, just motherfuckers won't do it. If I was one of these motherfuckers, I'd be on Ozempic, right? It's probably not your issue, but if I was you, and it's mostly guys I'm talking to, because that's who watches my YouTube. I would be on everything. I probably wouldn't do steroids. It depends on what my goals were. Like if I wanted to be a pro bodybuilder, for sure. Like that's what you got to do, right? You know, and for sure. But you know, like man, get the fucking peptides, all that shit. I tried peptides and I didn't notice anything. I tried a few of them. I noticed nothing. I don't know what it is, but like for example, Testosterone was one that people really like, and I tried it, and I noticed zero effect. But I think it's because I'm so dialed in, right? I track every fucking thing I eat. I track how much water I drink every day, how much sleep I get, and I make sure I hit my numbers every day. And the people who tell me they get the best results from that are the people who aren't really like locked in or dialed in. I'm not saying it's bullshit. It's just, and maybe I'm just a non-responder. But yo, listen, if I was you, bro, I'd be on all them things, all them shits. Because you ain't gonna lock in like me. Let's get real. You ain't gonna lock in like me. I'd be on all that shit. And if I was a trainer, I would disclose it, right? Because again, remember, we can't lie or trick people. There can be no victims, right? And to get in good shape, you still have to work out and train, even if you take roids. I know motherfuckers on roids who look like shit because they won't fucking track their calories and their diet sucks. So you still have to work out, right? But if I was a trainer, I would disclose that. And maybe that would be my niche. Maybe that's how I would, you know, differentiate myself. Like I teach people how to start their online fitness businesses. And one of my students, man, a few of them, they do this, right? What they do is they specialize in training, but like enhancements, right? So they'll have their clients get blood work, and then they'll tell them they should get on different peptides, and or some of them get deals with like hormone replacement therapy centers, you know, and they get them on hormones, and they get a kickback from that if they need it, right? So there's a niche for that, so you can actually make money doing it. And you see all the fucking peptide guys on social media, man. They're on it. You know, I would do all that shit. And you know, there's one thing I've been taking for years. I've been taking Cialis every day for, I don't know, over 15 years now, because studies show that Cialis can actually help build muscle. There's a lot of studies that show that Cialis can help build muscle. And I was like, yeah, I want every advantage I can get, you know, because it increases blood flow. It's a vasodilator, right? Plus, you know what I'm saying, that your bedroom game step up. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people are saying, somebody's thinking right now, and they're going to think this throughout the video. They may be even tempted to comment this. You shouldn't need that, or I don't need that, or if you need that, something's wrong. No, motherfucker. The only thing I need is food, water, and shelter. Everything past that is just optimization, right? We're not talking about, when I say cheating, we're not talking about doing things the best we can do currently. We're talking about doing things the best they can be done. Is a big difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to take Cialis every day. I don't have erectile dysfunction. You know, the pipe game strong. And I can just build muscle without that shit, right? You know, my body works. But I'm not talking about what I need. I'm talking about optimization. We're talking about cheating. Because if that girl didn't get that boob job, do you think that the guy she married worth 9 figures would have to settle for a flat-chested bitch? I don't care how cool she is. I don't care how fucking pretty her face is. You know what I'm saying? If she ain't got no titties, you think he would have to settle? He would settle for that, right? Some girls might want to argue that, but I know it's mostly guys. Which you guys feel me, right? Like if you was worth over 100 million, would you fucking around with the bitch with no titties? Come on, man. I don't care how cool she is. You know? Shit, I wasn't worth 9 figures and I ain't fuck with her. You know what I'm saying? I was relatively broke at the time, and I ain't want to fuck with no bitch who looked like a dude. The body of a dude. She had the face of an angel, but the body of a fucking young man. Nah. Ugh. Right? You wouldn't have to. We're talking about optimization, right? So here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying. Physiology. Get on any kind of peptides you need to get on. Get your testosterone tested. If you're in the low end of the normal range or below the normal range, consider testosterone replacement therapy. If you're young, you want to try to bring it up naturally, because if you're young, your testosterone should be the same as mine, right? Me with injecting. I'm old, right? So I have to inject mine to get it to where a young man should be, right? It's not natural for a 40-year-old man, 43-year-old man to have testosterone to be like 900, 1,000. Like that's not normal. That's not average for my age, right? my shit should be around 4, 5, 6 if I'm lucky, right? You know, that's where the average is at my age. I'm not trying to be average, right? So try to raise it up naturally. If you can't, or whatever, you just got low testosterone for whatever reason, it could be environmental shit, you know, microplastics or all the shit, you know, whatever. Could be the water, who knows, right? But men's testosterone levels are dropping. Fuck that shit, get it up. Get on all the peptides, try them out. I didn't notice anything, but you might. And a lot of people swear by them. Get on the Cialis. Get on the Cialis. Take Cialis every day. There's no reason why you shouldn't be taking Cialis every day. You feel me? Because it's gonna help you build muscle. Like there's tons of evidence that shows Cialis helps build muscle. And you know what I'm saying? If you ain't had, okay, if you got ED, Cialis makes you regular. If you don't have ED, Cialis makes you a sex god. All right? It makes somebody who has dysfunction regular. It makes regular motherfuckers sex gods. Why wouldn't you do it? Like there's no good reason not to. It's not addictive. It's not habit forming. Well, it's habit forming. You ain't gonna want to be off it. You know what I'm saying? Take it every day, man. All right, build your reputation, especially if you out here having interracial sex. You represent if you a black dude, you out here fucking white bitches, you representing all of us, man. All right. Now you got to do it for the culture. Now you got to do it for the culture, man. And if you white dude fucking Latinas, man, you got to represent your culture, man. They already ain't expecting as much, man, from you. So you got to go out there and blow their minds, man. Come on, step your game up, guys. Step your game up. Women have known this cheat code shit for years. They've been painting since they were in high school, they've been painting their faces. They're getting all the surgeries, fillers, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? They've been cheating for years, man. Life is too competitive for you to motherfucking not be taking advantage of everything you can. All right. Physiology. Obviously do the regular shit too, like work out hard, track your fucking macros, right? Now let's talk about cognitive abilities, right? Because there's two ways to make money. You can either make money with your muscles. This is like doing labor or doing jobs you have to be there, motherfucking security, or like a nurse, she got to inject you, shit like that, right? You can make money by moving the physical world, or you can make money with your mind, right? There's more money made with your mind than with the physical world, unless you are a pro athlete or something, right? So most of you guys watching this are not professional athletes, nor will you be. They are less than 2% of the population of the world. So I'm assume I'm not talking to pro athletes, which means you got to make money with your mind if you want to get rich. How are we going to do that? Well, we need to cheat, man. So there's a few things I do to cheat. A lot of this is biohacking, right? There's a few things I do and have been doing for years to cheat cognitively. One is caffeine. Caffeine, I mean, it helps you physically too, but it's a potent nootropic. Since I was 16, I've been taking over 1,000 milligrams of caffeine per day. Yeah, I'm not fucking around, right? Someone says, you shouldn't need it. I don't need anything but food, shelter, and water. We're not talking about necessities. We're talking about optimization. I'm not talking about the best I can do. I'm talking about doing things the best they can be done, all right? And the best that can be done is 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day. Now, that's not advice. everybody's tolerance is different. You probably haven't been abusing caffeine since you were a teenager. Before you say anything, I've had a recent echocardiogram. My cardiovascular system is perfect. My blood work is perfect. You know, it's been that way. I haven't had a cold in fucking 10 years. My health is literally perfect. My heart is fucking tip-top shape. Before you say anything, your mileage may vary. Everyone's different. Some people die if they eat a peanut, right? You might not be able to get as much caffeine as me, but caffeine is a potent nootropic, right? So you need to take pre-workout before you work, and you'll get more done, and the work could be more fun. All right. There's a few other things I've taken for a long time. Nicotine. Nicotine is a potent nootropic. You know, whether that's Zen or pouch. When I'm working super hard, I wear a nicotine patch. And then I lock in more. Nicotine is addictive, for sure. But it's cheap, man. So who cares if you get addicted, man? Listen. Nicotine itself is not bad for you. It's smoking is bad for you. Like putting smoke in your lungs is what's bad for you, right? But if you get it from another method, the only problem is it's addictive, right? It is addictive. But it's cheap, man. So who cares, bro? I don't even know how much Zen costs. Just grab that shit off the shelf. I don't know how much the patches cost. I just grab it. I'll be having a patch and a Zen. And when I'm getting it in the work. Straight up. And another thing I've been taking for a long time is this drug called Modafinil. Basically, it's a anti-narcolepsy medication. But if you don't have narcolepsy, it makes you super alert. What it does is, people compare it to Adderall, but there's a difference. Adderall is an amphetamine, right? Very similar to meth, like on a chemical level. Adderall is like putting your foot on the gas, right? Because there's two ways to make a car go. You can put your foot on the gas and the car go forward. You can also take your foot off the brake and the car go forward, right? Modafinil is like taking your foot off the brake. The way it works is it blocks the receptors in your brain that make you tired. The hormone, the receptors that receive the hormones that make you tired, Adderall blocks those. So it's like you're just way more alert. So that's an off-brand use. I took that for fucking, I don't know, man, over a decade. The only reason I don't take it now is because I ain't got a supplier. the fucking Chinese websites I used to get that shit off all got closed down. Thanks a lot, Obama. Thanks a lot, Biden. Nah, I don't know how they got shut down, you know. Probably because it's illegal, you know. And anyway, but that if you can get you some of that, I'll take Adderall if I need to. Adderall's super addictive, but I'll take it if I got a prescription. So man, if I need to lock in, fucking pop a Adderall, lock in for hours, and it makes work fun, like boring work fun. Like I got to do some boring work later today. You better believe I'm gonna pop a Adderall and lock in. Here's the thing about Adderall, guys. Get ready to do whatever you're doing before you take the Adderall. Because if you take it and do something else before you do what you're supposed to do, you're gonna fuck up. Whatever you're doing when you take the Adderall, you're gonna be doing that shit for hours. For example, I remember once when I first was taking it, my crib was kind of messy. The maid wasn't coming till like the next day, and I was like, my crib is kind of messy. Let me just straighten up before I get to work. I took the Adderall first. Yo, I deep cleaned that fucking crib, man. Everything. I couldn't stop cleaning. The motherfucking, you know that spot in between the wall and the toilet, that no man's land? That shit was spotless. You could have ate off of that shit when I was done cleaning the crib. I couldn't stop cleaning, missed the whole work day. Had to cancel the housekeeper because I cleaned too well. Another time, I remember this a long time. There used to be this thing back in the 2000s or maybe the 2010s. Yeah, like in the 2010s when chicks would post like twerk videos on YouTube. And this bitch, and I was like, all right, man, before I get to work, man, I open YouTube and twerk videos up. I watched that. I was on Adderall. 6 hours of twerk videos. So now, Lord, I think I get everything ready. I even bring up, if I'm working on a program, I bring that shit up. Then I take the Adderall, then I start working. That's important. That's important. Yeah, but if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Again, testosterone will help you also with your cognitive performance. Because taking, that was the main reason I got on testosterone, so I have more energy, but also it improves my cognitive performance, improves drives. It's responsible for a lot of the dopamine receptors. You know, dopamine and testosterone kind of go hand in hand. And just more driven. Whatever you need to do. Like these are the ways that I cheat, because the world is too competitive, man. It's too competitive. And the higher you get, the more formidable your opponents will be. And these motherfuckers are cheating. When you see these motherfuckers, man, I wake up at fucking 3 a.m. and I work until motherfucking 8. Yeah, he's on some drugs, man. Straight up. Straight up. He's not raw dogging that kind of work ethic. Right? He's not, for sure. And I know some of the guys who say this shit, they are not raw dogging this shit. No, they are not. Even you know, my boy Hermosi, he said he talks about nicotine and caffeine, you know, like, yo, these motherfuckers are not raw dogging this shit. You may want, man, how do you work all day? How do you get motivated? Motherfucker, we not raw dogging this shit like you. Like, we probably have more discipline, but we are not out here raw dogging life. You get what I'm saying? And the higher you get, the more performance enhancement drugs motherfuckers are taking. That's what I'm telling you from above, y'all. I'm telling you guys from the top, okay? Fuck what these hippies tell you. At the top, we cheating, okay? We are not out here playing fair. None of these motherfuckers, okay? I don't care who your favorite fucking influencer, podcaster, anybody you see, especially if he's old and he's out here crushing it. You see him doing mad shit all day, waking up early, working late, fucking grinding and hustling, hopping off and on jets. These motherfuckers are on drugs, bro. 100% of them. Fuck that shit. I'm sure there's an exception somewhere. I'm sure you can find an exception. Okay, maybe not 100%, but the vast majority, I'm sure there's an exception. If somebody told me that David Goggins was not on any performance enhancement shit, I'd believe it, right? He's still a small sample size. You know what I'm saying? He's a lunatic, okay? That's part of it too, right? We're all kind of lunatics. But yo, man, don't be out here cheating. I mean, don't be out here trying to raw dog this shit, man. You know, get drugs. Even if it's just a bunch of caffeine, be on the drugs. This is important. I'm telling you, you can't be out here raw dogging life and expect to compete with the motherfuckers at the highest levels. It's just not gonna happen. All right. and now we want to talk about technology. You definitely need to be cheating with AI. Seriously, when you see all these reports, AI is taking people's jobs, AI is replacing everything. Yeah, that shit is happening, bro. Right? You need to be on the side of it. You need to learn these AI tools, man. You need to learn shit like Claude Code, not just ChatGPT. You need to learn Claude Code, Lovable, Open Claude, if that's for the less risk averse, right? You need to learn Cursor, right? You need to learn how to deploy these technologies in your business and life. Otherwise, you legit going to be left behind. You know where we're at? In the 90s, the internet started to become popular. The companies that did not embrace the internet are out of business. Blockbuster Videos, you don't want to be Blockbuster Videos, like not replacing the internet and not taking advantage of the new shit. Now you see how big I am on AI, man, because I know it's the next thing. It's not even the next thing, it's the thing now. And the people who don't have a firm grasp of it, they're gonna be their jobs are gonna be regulated to labor. And as we established in the beginning, Labor is not where you get paid the most money. You don't get paid the most money manipulating the physical world, right? So some things you can do. So some of the ways I use AI. Well, for one, anything I'm writing, almost everything I write at least goes through an AI filter. Like sometimes I'll post on the community tab here, and it'll be like, "Oh, this was written by AI." It was proofread by AI. So what I do is I use the dictation tool, and I tell AI to rewrite it for me, make it sound better. Almost everything, especially because I had dyslexia, so it's been a fucking huge improvement for me because I have difficulty spelling words. I was diagnosed with dyslexia. I'm not just saying that shit, and so it's been huge for me. I use a tool called Whisperflow, and it transcribes everything you say, but it uses AI to transcribe it, so it takes out all the mistakes, all the mess ups, and it puts it in better context. It's fantastic. I use it on my computer. I use it on my phone. Like Whisperflow is dope. Building presentations, I build them with AI. My old books, like I got books I wrote, and I had to write those. Right, I wrote the books. This is before AI came out, and I would have to find somebody on Upwork to proofread it and edit it and compile it. Now I write the outline, and I just have AI transcribe it for me. Right, it saves me mad time and money. Where it used to be everything I wrote had to go through an army of proofreaders because of my dyslexia, right? These are ways you can do it. For content creation, automation, you need to learn N8N. You need to learn how to use make.com. You need to learn how to use AI agents. You have to learn this stuff, right? Because it can make you a lot of money, especially now, because we're at a point where most people on Earth don't use AI yet. I know it seems ubiquitous and it's everywhere, but most humans don't use AI. So that's going to give you a huge advantage. And most people who do use AI, they only use the free versions. I saw a graph that explained this better, maybe I'll post it. And most people use the free version. The free version is not the shit that's going to really move the needle. It's helpful, but when the paid versions are different. Right? And then the paid tools, there's other tools besides ChatGPT, right? And then there's only a small fraction of people who are really, really using AI. Motherfuckers who are using it to code, using it to set up automations, really using it and making, those are the people who are making the money, and those are people who are gonna get rich, all right? You can't be out here playing fair, Listen, I'm doing a live training this Sunday at 2 p.m. where I will show you how you can grow your online fitness business using AI. I'm gonna show you how to grow your following with AI. I'm gonna show you how to actually make sales and get more leads with AI. And I'm gonna show you how to train your clients with AI so they get amazing results, all right? If you want to sign up for that, it's gonna be live. I'll be able to answer all your questions. The link is in the description. Click that link, it's the first link. Let's get it, man. Hey, don't be out here playing fair, man. Life ain't fair. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Let's go.